Pro-life activist Alveda King, the niece of Martin Luther King, greets Pope Francis today in the Vatican. The Holy Father told King and other pro-life advocates he appreciates their efforts to bring the light of the gospel to the peripheries of the world. Earlier this week, EWTN News Nightly's Vatican correspondent Juliet Linley spoke to Alveda King about her uncle's legacy and her own work in the pro-life movement.
What brings you to Rome?
Well, I'm invited to the NGO Catholic Inspired Conference. And so people from all around the world are here, and we'll be sharing prayers, encouragement, and ideas. We're at Christmas time. This is the holiday season. So I'm praying that the message of Christ is going to resonate from the womb to the tomb.
Absolutely. You were a teenager when your uncle was killed. Tell us about your relationship with MLK Jr. Tell us about how he inspired what you do today.
My uncle, Martin Luther King Jr., from the 20th century, a leader in civil rights, and my father, A.D. King, his brother, marched for the civil rights of all people. And so now, here in the 21st century, we're considering the little babies in the womb. So from the womb to the tomb, the sick, the elderly, the poor, and the babies. And so I'm just so very excited to share this message here in Rome and around the world.
You yourself are not Catholic, but you have strong ties with the Church, and I know that you feel very strongly about Pope Francis.
And he has quoted my uncle, ML, Martin Luther King Jr., talking about the brotherhood, the agape love of God. And that message is so important. The Pope embraces that, he embodies that, and he shares that. And as he goes among the people as a leader, I'm just so encouraged by his spirit and his pro-life message, the sanctity of life. I'm so encouraged by that. I admire the Pope for all that he is doing.
How important is your pro-life battle, and how bad is the situation which makes your job so important?
Well, the statistics show us that there have been millions and millions of babies aborted around the world, and every day there are hundreds of thousands of babies dying by abortion. And with those statistics, we have lost the ability in some instances in the name of what is called women's rights, for example. And so the woman does have a right to choose what she does with her body, but the baby's not her body. We have to ask, where's the lawyer for the baby? And then the procedures of abortion and some of the shots and the pills and the chemicals that women are being convinced to use for what is called the reproductive rights are hurting women's bodies. So this information has to get out, and that's part of my message as well.
Thank you, Juliet Linley, for that interview.